You are made of stars, literally. Look down at your hand, the calcium in your bones, the iron flowing within your veins, the oxygen you breathe in and out. Every single atom has a history older than Earth itself. Each began its journey not on this small blue world, but deep in a cosmic fire, in the hearts of ancient stars. This is the alchemy of Stardust, the astonishing transformation of matter that led from the simplest gas to complex, self-aware life. Today, we embark on a journey stretching across the ages of the universe. We will trace how elemental hydrogen, born from the Big Bang, became the seeds of everything. Clouds and stars, planets and oceans, and eventually humanity. This is your true origin story, a lineage billions of years in the making. The story of cosmic alchemy, of stars birthing matter, of stardust turning, at last, into us. In the beginning, there was just energy. Then, a moment, a spark of incomprehensible expansion we now know as the Big Bang. In the furnace of that moment, the Higgs field conferred mass. Quarks danced into protons and neutrons, which formed the first atomic nuclei. As the universe expanded and cooled, electrons settled into orbits around these nuclei, and atoms were born. But these first atoms were simple. Over the first few minutes, in a process called primordial nucleosynthesis, the universe yielded mostly hydrogen, making up around 75%, with helium contributing about 25% more. Trace hints of lithium and beryllium appeared, but heavier elements were utterly absent, at least for now. Hydrogen, the simplest, smallest, and most abundant element in the universe. Even now, 4 out of every 5 atoms in the cosmos are hydrogen. It is the building block for stars, the rocket fuel powering stellar furnaces, and the quiet canvas upon which every future act of chemistry is painted. For hundreds of millions of years after the Big Bang, the universe remained a dark place, a diffuse, expanding sea of hydrogen and helium gas. But even in this darkness, gravity was at work, ever so slowly pulling together clouds of gas, drawing matter into denser and hotter knots. As these clouds grew denser, temperatures soared, and soon the first stars lit up the ancient cosmos, illuminating vast stretches of darkness for the very first time. Within these newborn stars, something miraculous began to unfold. Under the enormous pressure at their cores, hydrogen atoms collided and fused, giving birth to helium. This process, nuclear fusion, is the very heart of all starlight. Each second, in the sun's core, millions of tons of hydrogen vanish, replaced by helium and bursts of pure energy. Fusion is the universe's furnace, the engine of stellar transformation. With every heartbeat of a star, simple elements are transmuted into something new. This is the alchemy of stars, a process called stellar nucleosynthesis. Hydrogen becomes helium. As stars age and hydrogen runs low, fusion presses onward, forging atoms into heavier and heavier elements. In smaller stars like the Sun, fusion only goes so far, a few steps up the element ladder, stopping at carbon and oxygen. But in giants, many times the mass of our Sun, the internal pressure grows furious. Here, fusion forges not just carbon and oxygen, but neon, magnesium, silicon, and all the way up to iron. These heavy elements, so familiar as the materials of planets and bones, are churned out in spectacular volumes at the hearts of massive stars. Yet with iron, the process meets a terminal limit. Unlike lighter elements, fusing iron costs energy rather than releasing it. The engine of fusion, so long the star's protector, sputters and finally halts. Gravity, always waiting, can at last claim victory. The star's delicate balance collapses in upon itself, unleashing the most violent death in the cosmos, a supernova. In this fiery end, the star's outer layers blast outward at mind-bending speeds, releasing a shockwave of unimaginable energy. The core, crushed to the size of a city, becomes a neutron star, or collapses entirely into a black hole. But in this final act, something extraordinary happens. The explosion itself is a forge even more powerful than any stellar core, fusing atoms into heavier elements that ordinary stars cannot make. For mere moments, as shockwaves ripple and neutrons race, elements like gold, uranium, copper, and iodine are born in the crucible of destruction. Some supernovae, called hypernovae, are so intense that they remake the galaxy around them, blasting matter far into the darkness. In even rarer collisions, when two neutron stars spiral together and merge, they create floods of the universe's heaviest elements in blinding bursts of light, a cosmic alchemy on the most extravagant scale. The story does not end with this chaos. The scattered stardust, blown out by generations of exploding stars, swirls across the galaxy, coalescing into fresh clouds of gas and dust. Over millions of years, this debris amasses, drawn together by gravity once more. The cycle continues. Some of these clouds birth new stars, some condense into planets. Our own solar system is one such child, a planetary family born from the ashes of many long-dead stars. About 4.6 billion years ago, a swirling cloud of stardust, enriched with heavy elements from countless stellar explosions, collapsed to form the sun at its center. In the leftovers around it, planetesimals accreted, colliding and merging until 8 major planets and countless smaller bodies emerged. Earth itself is a collection of this galactic ash, a rocky body rich in iron, magnesium, silicon, and oxygen. The gold in your jewelry, the uranium deep in the planet's crust, the iodine that keeps you healthy, all of it was forged in ancient stellar violence, scattered across the cosmos, and at last swept up into the formation of our planet. But Earth's story is not just one of rocks and elements. It is a place where stardust learns to breathe. For after the fires and shocks of planetary birth calmed, new chemistries emerged on its young surface. Rain washed minerals into the early oceans, where energy from lightning, volcanism, and the sun sparked reactions between carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and other atoms. In this primordial cauldron, molecules grew ever larger and more complicated. Amino acids formed, tiny, self-assembling building blocks. Chains of them coiled into proteins. Nucleotides arranged themselves into spiraling patterns, and so appeared the first strands of what would one day become DNA, the blueprint of all life on Earth. Inside every living cell is a testament to stellar chemistry. Carbon is the backbone of all organic molecules, forming the sturdy chains on which life is built. Nitrogen and phosphorus cycle through DNA and RNA, the carriers of genetic memory. Iron is the essential core of hemoglobin, ferrying oxygen to every tissue in your body. Calcium gives structure to bones. Potassium, sodium, and chlorine balance every nerve and muscle impulse. Every breath you take is an exchange of stardust. Every heartbeat is the pulse of ancient stars, beating within a body made possible only because those stars lived, died, and enriched the cosmos. Life, in all its forms, is a process powered and enabled by the universe's restless creativity, by the relentless recycling of matter from one form to another. And thus, the story of Stardust becomes the story of humanity. Each of us is an arrangement, a pattern, a fleeting configuration of atoms shaped by billions of years of cosmic events. The simplest gases drifting in the darkness became, through time and transformation, the material of life and thought. Consider that astounding chain of being. Hydrogen, stitched across the universe, collapsed to form stars. Stars burning hot, conjured new elements: carbon, oxygen, iron. These elements, flung out in supernovae, joined with leftover gas, condensed into clouds, and sparked the birth of planets. On at least one of those planets, the right mix of chemistry, energy, and chance set molecules dancing in a way that led to life. Then, through oceans, forests, and deserts, through the march of time and evolution, life became self-aware. Eventually, humans, made entirely from elements forged in stars, grew curious enough to wonder about their own origins. You are a collection of atoms with consciousness, a way for the universe to reflect on itself. The calcium in your bones, more than 4 billion years old. The iron in your blood, older than the sun. The oxygen in your lungs, part of the ancient air before any tree drew breath. And each was once nothing more than stardust, created and destroyed again and again through an unending cosmic cycle. In these patterns, the universe became aware of itself, if only for the briefest moment. Carl Sagan once phrased it so powerfully: "We are a way for the cosmos to know itself." Humanity is not apart from the universe, but an expression of it, a fleeting configuration in its endless unfolding, with the privilege to ask questions, to wonder, and to seek truth. When you look up at the night sky, you are not looking out into an alien world, but at your own history. Each twinkle is both a beacon and a mirror, reminding you of the vast connections that link every atom in your body to a chain of events stretching back to the dawn of time. The universe has become alive and self-aware through you, through your thoughts and your curiosity. So the story of stars is not just a story of astronomy or chemistry, it is your own personal story, written in atoms and flames, in time and memory. From the hydrogen created in the Big Bang, to the spark of life in a drop of primordial water, from the death of a giant blue star to the laughter of a child, everything is part of this incredible, unfolding narrative. You go about your life, breathing, moving, loving, learning. Remember that these simple acts are themselves cosmic events. You are not just living in the universe. You are the universe, forming itself into the shape and story of a human being. Tomorrow, new questions will be asked about galaxies, about filaments, about the grand skeleton holding the cosmos together. But tonight, beneath the glow of the stars, let yourself imagine the journey of the atoms that make you up, their creation, their scattering across space, their fusion and transformation, their congregation onto a young planet, their assembly into DNA, and at last, their orchestration into consciousness. Your atoms are borrowed from the universe, bound for a while into a human life. In time, they too will return to the cosmos, perhaps to become part of some future world, a new being, a new story. From hydrogen to humans, the universe, through eons of fiery change, became alive, through you. And with that, remember, the saga of Stardust is not only written in the sky, but also in your very bones. The next time you feel small looking up at the night sky, remember that you are, in a very real way, The night sky looking back at itself. Conscious, curious, alive. From hydrogen to humanity, from stars to cells, this is the story of cosmic alchemy. This is the story of you.